my name's Fiona and I'm from Art Venturers, and we run colourful art and creative play classes for babies, toddlers and children across Sunderland and across the rest of the country. And normally at this time of year we'd be out and about meeting lots of you with our art and craft activities at some of the fantastic Christmas events that go on across our city. But obviously things are a little bit different this year. So what we're going to do today is show you a really simple Christmas art activity that you can do at home. And it's a useful one too, because we're going to be making some Christmas wrapping paper. So what are you going to need for this activity? Well, firstly, you're going to need some paper. What I'm using here is some just brown paper that you use for wrapping up parcels and things like that to go in the post. It's perfect. But if you haven't got anything like this, then just some large sheets of paper will do. Then you're going to need some paint. I'm going to talk to you about the different colours that we're going to need for the different designs, because we're going to be doing 3 different designs of wrapping paper. And you are going to need a plate or something flat to squeeze your paint out onto. And you're going to need a few potatoes of different sizes. Now, you're going to need these to be cut into half to do the potato prints, so I'm going to go away and cut mine up safely. Obviously, this is a job only for grown-ups. Right, so I'm back from cutting up my potato, and I realised that I forgot to tell you that you're also going to need a paintbrush to do this activity, and if you've got a pen, then you might also find that handy. Right, so we are going to have a go at design number 1, and for that you're going to need just 1/2 of a potato. We're going to start off with a really simple design, which is going to be Rudolph the reindeer. So for this one you're going to need some brown paint. So I didn't have any brown paint at home, so I've just mixed my own. It's a great exercise in colour mixing for our little artists. So if you've got some blue, you've got some red and you've got some green, then you can mix them together to make a lovely Rudolph brown. And then you're also going to need to have obviously some red paint, because Rudolph always has a red nose, and you're going to need some black as well. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just angle my camera down so that you can see what I'm going to be doing. So there we go. So we've got our potato and we've got our brown paint, we've got our paper, and what we're going to do is just make a really simple potato print. So we're going to push our potato into paint, make sure it's really well covered, and then we're going to press it down onto the paper. Make sure you give it a little wiggle to make sure you've got a lovely clear print, and then lift it up. And then what you can do is just do lots of different potato prints in different places across your sheet of paper, just like this. Right, so my Rudolph prints have been drying. Now I'm going to confess that they're not quite as probably dry as they should be, but I'm just too desperate to get them done and show you them. But if you are letting them dry at home, do make sure that they're thoroughly dry before you do this next step. So we've got our lovely prints here, and what you're going to need now is the red paint and the black paint that we talked about earlier. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the camera down again so you can see what I am doing, and you are going to need your paintbrush. And what you're going to do is you're going to dip your paintbrush into the red paint, and we are going to paint on Rudolph's nose. Nice and big. And we're going to do a lovely nose for Rudolph on all of the prints that we've done on our paper. I'm not going to do all of mine, but what I am going to do is I'm going to show you the next step now, which is to do Rudolph's eyes and Rudolph's antlers. Now, the easiest way, I'll just pop this back up for a minute. Can you see me? Yeah. The easiest way for you to do a lovely neat dot for Rudolph's eyes is to actually use the other end of your paintbrush. So you've got the brush end and then you've got the other end, and what we're going to do is we're going to dip this end, the bottom end of the paintbrush, into our black paint. So So it's covered in paint, and we're going to use that then to dot onto Rudolph to make his black eyes. So let's go, which one shall I do first? I'll do this one. So there we go. One eye, two eyes. And then again, one eye, two eyes. And you'll see it's a really simple design, but it's really going to be very cute. So obviously you're going to cover all of yours. I'm just doing these as an example for you. And then lastly, we are going to add Rudolph's what's the word? Antlers. So you can do this in one of two ways. You can either use your paintbrush to paint the antlers on, or you could use a pen if you found that easier. So if you've got a brown or a black pen, you could use one of those. But I'm going to use my paintbrush, and I'm going to use some black paint. And I'll just pop it down, and you can see how easy it is just to add Rudolph's antlers. So there he is. We're just going to go one line like that, and then 1, 2, and then one line like that, and then 1, 2. You see that? And then I'm just going to do exactly the same with the rest of my reindeer. And there we go, our Rudolph wrapping paper. And you could, if you wanted, I guess, always add a little bit of glitter onto his nose. Right, so now we're going to have a go at design number 2. This one's just a tiny bit more complicated, and we're going to be doing a snowman. So for this one, we're going to need just 1/2 a potato again, and we're going to need to have some white paint, and we're going to need to have some black paint, and for this one we're also going to need to have some orange paint. Now again, I didn't have any orange paint at home, so I've mixed mine using red and yellow. Again, it's a perfect colour mixing exercise for our little artists. So exactly the same as we did with Rudolph, we're going to, I'll pop the camera down, we're going to get the white paint, we're going to dip our potato into the paint, and we are going to make some potato prints in white paint across our wrapping paper. So our white potato prints are dry, and what we're going to do now is make them into a snowman, and it's really easy to do. Again, we're going to need our paintbrush, and we're going to need to have some black paint, and we're going to need to have some orange paint as well, and that's obviously for his carrot nose. Now we're going to use the same trick that I told you about to do the eyes and the buttons and the snowman, and we're going to use the end of our paintbrush. So I'm going to just pop the camera down again so you can see what I'm doing. I'll do this upside down for me, but the right way around for you, so you can see how I'm doing it. And we're going to do 2 eyes and then 3 buttons for each of our snowmen. And I'll just do a couple of them so you can see how to do it. So we've dipped the bottom of our paintbrush, you see, in the black paint, and then what I'm going to do is do 1 eye at the top, a 2nd eye at the top, and then 3 buttons down his tummy, just like that. And I'm going to do that for all of my snowmen. Now we're keeping this really simple today, so we're just going to be doing his eyes and his buttons and his carrot nose, but you could, if you were feeling artistic, obviously add more stuff to your snowman as well. You could give him a hat, you could give him a scarf, whatever you like. Right, now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to wipe the end of my paintbrush. I'm going to get some orange paint on my paintbrush, and I'm going to paint on a little carrot nose onto each of my snowmen. Now my paint isn't 100% dry, but I'll try and do it as best I can. And obviously if you're doing this at home, just make sure that you've made sure yours is completely dry before you paint your noses on. And what you could do as well, if you've got some glitter at home, is you could always sprinkle a little bit of glitter on your snowmen as well. And then the last thing we're going to do is give our snowmen some arms. So for this, you're just going to need your pen, and you're just going to add a little twig arm like that to each snowman. And there we have our very cute snowman wrapping paper. Right, okay, for our third and final design, this is probably the most complicated, but it's not really that difficult. We're going to be having a go at making a penguin. So for this one, you're going to need a plate with some black paint on, and you're going to need a plate with some white paint on. You're also going to need to have some yellow paint as well. And you're going to need 2 potatoes for this design. And you're going to need 2 potatoes of slightly different sizes. So you're going to need a bigger one, and you're going to need a slightly smaller one. What we're going to do is we're going to take the bigger piece of potato first, and that's going to make our penguin's body. So again, I've just popped the camera down, but you know what I'm doing by now. And so we've got the larger potato, and we're just going to use the black paint to make some prints, which are going to be our penguin's body. And again, just do as many as you can to fill up the paper that you've got. Right, so now we're going to do the second stage of our penguin design, and then we're going to let it dry again. And for this next stage, what you're going to need is you're going to need your white paint again, and you're going to need your smaller potato, and you're going to need the paintbrush. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add the penguin's tummy, and we're going to make a start on his eyes as well. So what I'm going to do again, you're well used to me doing this now, is pop the camera down, and what you're going to do is you're going to make another smaller potato print down the bottom of each print. So we're going to leave a larger black space at the top where we're going to do his eyes and his beak, and the tummy part's going to go towards the bottom of him. So you're going to dip your smaller potato into the white paint, and then, oh, mine's stuck, right, and then you're going to just pop a white print on top of the black one. And can you see how I've left a bit of a space there at the top? That's where we're going to do the penguin's face. So if you keep doing that with all of your penguins, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do that same trick with the bottom of our paintbrush, and we're going to do 2 dots on the top of our penguins, which is going to be his eyes, or the start of his eyes anyway. So 2 white dots at the top, 2 white dots at the top, and now it's time to finish off our penguin design. So we've done stage 2, we've added the tummy and we've added the eyes, or the first step of the eyes, and now what we're going to do is finish off our penguin. So for this, we're going to need some black paint, and we're going to need some yellow paint, and we're going to need our paintbrush as well. So again, I'm just going to pop it down So you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to do it upside down so you can see. And first of all, we're going to do our little trick with the end, with the end of the paintbrush into the black paint, and we're going to finish off our penguin's eyes by putting a little black dot in the middle of the white spots that we created for his eyes. You see what I'm doing there? Yep. There we go. Now we're going to do the beak. So we're going to use the normal end of our brush and some yellow paint. And we're just going to paint a little yellow triangle for our penguin's beak. And so there we are, our very last finished Christmas wrap design, our cute little penguins. I really hope that you enjoyed creating your potato print Christmas gift wrap, and I'm sure that anybody who receives a present wrapped up in that this year is going to be absolutely over the moon. I would love to see anything that you've created, so please don't forget to share any photographs with us. And in the meantime, from all of us at Art Venturers, have an absolutely fantastic Christmas, stay safe, and we'll see you all soon.